Now we turn our attention to the modalities for the national conference. Mr. Chukwuma Ezeala joins us now. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
You know, we were just looking at matters about the sack of the minister, and yes, it happened. It's grabbing a lot of headlines, and deservedly so, because it has to do with governance. And then one wonders, I mean, now that we're talking about the conference and it's scheduled to hold, when these kind of matters, when they happen, you will find a lot of political activities, and that's why some say, look, the timing of this conference, you have so many things which will happen and will take away the attention from this conference. Will that even affect anything, even if it does?
I do not think it will affect much. It will certainly affect something. But we have seen over time that each government that comes in, 2-3 years after, the conference issue comes up. But by and large, if we can take that conference once and for all and know that it is over, and we are not trying to enthrone a new constitution necessarily, because we already have a constitution that is working. What we are saying is, at this stage, what are the problems we have as a nation? Some people said, like the learned professor said, that there is a need to have ethnic nationalities conference. Now, the government says, let's have an amalgamation of all. Because when you look at the problem of Nigeria, when you look at it from 1954 into 1966, into 1970, 79, 83, you see that there are two major issues in Nigeria. The two major issues we have confronting Nigeria today are, one, corruption. The second one is ethnic questions.
Not leadership.
They are all part of, they are the things that have denied us leadership.
Well, if we had good leadership,
both things.
If we had leadership the way Nigerians want it, would ethnicity even matter?
No, but the problem why we have not had good leadership is because of the ethnic problem.
Not because of the way our leaders emerge.
The ethnic problem affects the way our leaders emerge.
Really?
Yes, because ethnic groups, there will be groupings of ethnic people who will now say, this is the person that's going to be the president, and the person becomes president. And these are the people that are going to be ministers, these are people that are going to control their affairs, and they control their affairs. You see, it's an ethnic question. And that is what has shielded corruption all through. But the next question becomes, if this is the problem, do we really have to call the conference Ethnic Nationalities Conference? That is the next issue.
What do you think?
Now, my view is that the way it is composed, we must discuss, we must not call it Ethnic Nationalities Conference, but we must discuss these issues. If we already have accepted 6 geopolitical zones, why don't we also make sure that there is real representation of those 6 geopolitical zones, which fairly represents the ethnic issues and which has fairly equal representations, in which we will now go in and say, now, are we going to accept ethnicity or not?
But some who say that if you go with this toga, with this ethnic nationalities agenda, you'll be limiting the perspective and the scope of the discussion at this conference, because many people will come in there, if not all of them, with what is in it for us in terms of what do we stand to benefit beyond, no, not even beyond that, just within our own ethnic enclave, as opposed to having it the way it is now, wherein you could discuss all matters, perhaps including this one.
No, we have to discuss all matters. Just like somebody says, there is a no-go area, we shouldn't discuss whether Nigeria should exist. If we must discuss how we are going to live, first thing will be to affirm. There should be affirmation. We want to live as one country. That is discussion. And I think that 90% of Nigerians want us to be together. So why are you avoiding it? Let it for the first time be that Nigerians have said we want to live together. Now the next question is, yes, we want to live together. How do we want to live together? Is it possible for an Ondo man to come to Lagos and become governor of Lagos State? I think it should be possible if he is the most qualified. Is it possible for an Anambra man to go to Abia State and say, I want to be governor of Abia State? If he's qualified and he can do it, I think he should be allowed. But we need to agree, because my own view should not be the view of Nigerians. We should come in, discuss, and decide this, and we now give it a print of authority to say this is what Nigerians have done. And any president or any leader can now enforce it and not say that it was Decree 24 that brought us together, that it was Decree 24 that has decreed how we should live. It will now be from the people that this is how they want to live.
So do you see the ingredients now present in the constitution of this new conference that will answer the question once and for all?
Yes, I think they can. I think provided that finally when they finish, because it's going to be by way of negotiations. You have some people who want freedom of movement, freedom of habitation. You inhabit wherever you are. There is no limit. If an Hausa Fulani settles in Benue, let him be in Benue. There are people from that area who says no. If you're from Sokoto, you're from Sokoto, you're not from Benue. But we need to all come in and say, okay, you're from Sokoto, but you're now in Benue, you're paying your taxes in Benue, you built your house in Benue, stay in Benue. But the Benue people must be able to accept that. The Lagos person must be able to accept that those that came into Lagos, you are paying your taxes in Lagos, you have built your house in Lagos, maybe you don't even have a house in your village. Therefore, stay here, your part and part. All of us must agree. Once we agree, it becomes very easy for politicians or for political leaders to enforce that agreement. And the agreement must come from us, not from a decree.
You know, how easy or difficult can it be if you're talking about all of us coming together to agree on any particular issue? Because people have also talked about representation of these ethnic nationalities.
Yes, on paper today, we have, I don't mean newspapers, but I mean on paper we have governors now. We have political leaders that were elected. Whether they were elected before or not, that's what I mean, the present governors. If they have opportunity to appoint people to represent their various states, and you have some segments, you have the Nigerian Bar Association, you have the NMA, all of them appoint people to come. That means they have a semblance of authority to represent. When they finish what they have done, the next thing will be, that is why some people say, in order to make it, not to do violence on the Constitution, let the National Assembly enact a law that will make it possible for the product of the discussion to go through a referendum. And some of us say, if the National Assembly is not ready to do that, the constitutional, the conference can recommend that what they have done, or can decide that what they have done should go to the referendum. That means if it's done and it takes over the Decree 24 that promulgated the Constitution, it means that not little violence has been done on the paper called the Constitution. But that becomes the gun norm. Some people said if you do it that way, that you're going to, that what of the governance, the president, wouldn't that sweep away their office? But that is no. Because the document you're going to provide, just like the decree did, is going to preserve the National Assembly, is going to preserve the presidency, is going to preserve everything that is already existing, because we can't be in anarchy.